I read an interview with you that was fabulous. And you said, you can practice the skill, cultivate the experience as much as you can, giving your brain lots of practice to predict automatically in the future. And it's the idea that you are the architect of your experience. If you seed your brain with new experiences today, this will encourage your brain to predict differently tomorrow. And you were talking on CNN about resolutions, right? And that's this whole idea of like what you practice grows stronger. So the brain is tending to just repeat these old things because that's the information it has, right?
The point that I was making is that when you expose yourself to new experiences, when you cultivate new emotions or new experiences, that's effortful. That takes effort. It's costly, but it's an investment. And at first, it feels hard. And it's like driving. It feels hard. You have to give a lot of attention to it. But like driving, if you practice it over and over and over again, it gets kind of automatic. And most of the time, your brain is predicting automatically. You're really not aware of it going on. And your brain isn't making itself aware that it's happening. It's just doing it. And then, often or sometimes we don't predict something. Something occurs that we didn't predict, or something doesn't occur that we did predict. And then there's an opportunity to learn.
So one of the tools I use is visualization. Like I invite people to like imagine they're like about to yell, they're feeling that arousal, and then stay with it and not act on it, or imagine taking different actions. Is this kind of what you would do in a situation like that, where you're feeling that and you would just like practice this almost mentally, the switching?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. So one thing that I used to do, and I should say, I did not come to this view. This is not a natural view for me to hold. I would just say, like, I'm actually really quite a curmudgeon. And as a scientist, even amongst my scientist friends, I'm very skeptical. So I don't believe anything until, the data show me again and again and again and again. And I don't really trust my own experience as really useful for explaining anything. That's just the hazards, I think, of being a scientist. But, the research showed again and again and again that the experience of awe is very, very useful. It really gives usually it gives your nervous system a bit of a break, because for a minute you feel like a speck. And if you're a speck, all your problems are a speck. It just takes big problems and makes them feel small for a minute. And I thought, okay, fine. The research shows that this is useful, so I'm going to try it. But it's remarkable, actually. It really is. At first, it was hard to do. But I practiced it every day for like 5 minutes. So I'd be walking on the street. I'd see, an ugly like dandelion poke out of like a crack of a sidewalk, and I'd say, oh, this is an opportunity to experience the power of nature. Nature will not be contained by, humanity's lame attempt to constrain it. And so I would try to take this dandelion and make it into a moment of awe that felt as profound as looking at the stars, or listening to a symphony of crickets at night, or watching the, waves roll in. And after a while, I was able to do it really automatically, like just to switch into that mode, because I'd practiced it quite a bit. And what mindfulness does, I'm not talking about mindfulness meditation here, but just mindfulness, right? So remember that, your brain is using past experiences that it can combine in novel ways to predict and explain the sense data from the world and from the body. And the situation that you're in right now launches the next set of predictions that your brain will make. So if you want to predict differently in the moment, one thing you can do is you can get up and move your body, go to another situation, and then you will be predicting differently, hopefully, if you're paying attention to the world. But let's say you can't. You can actually figuratively change your environment by just paying attention to different features of your environment. So for example, one thing we do when we do yoga is that we are paying attention to small sensory changes that are always there in our bodies, but that we normally don't pay attention to. Like if you're standing right now, there's a pressure that you can feel against the sole of your feet. Or if you're sitting right now, there's the pressure of the bottom of the chair against your legs or the back of the chair against your back. Those sense data are there. They're available to be attended to, but usually they're in the background of attention. But you can bring them into the forefront of attention, and then they become the experiences that you're, the raw material for the experiences that you're constructing. So you actually have quite a bit of, well, let's just say that you have more control. We all have moments where we feel like we have no control over what we feel, but we all have more control over what we experience and what we feel than we think we do. And the secret is to understand that control doesn't always mean changing what you feel in the moment. It can mean changing how you understand the meaning of what you feel, of what affect means, these sensations that give you affect. What do they mean in this situation? And if you practice enough, you can do it really automatically without very much effort whatsoever.
Catch new episodes of the Mindful Mama podcast and other free resources, including the Mindful Mom Guide at mindfulmamamentor.com. You can listen to every back catalog episode, including interviews with Dr. Dan Siegel, Ianla Van Zandt, Sharon Salzberg, and get meditations, join our private Facebook group, and more. Go to mindfulmamamentor.com now. I'll see you there.